Hello friends, and welcome to Rusty Inventions once again. Yeah, let's see where this goes. Something a little bit different. One of the blokes where I work in a film industry, as I said before. I'm a scenic carpenter, but at the moment the contractor I'm working for, it's got a small workshop at one of these trucker yards, lorry yards, and one of the blokes there, sort of in charge, he gave me a lot of steel, and very grateful, of course. All sorts, like brass and steel and lots of stuff, but he asked me first. He saw the first steam engine I made, and then he asked me, he wanted one for himself, and I said to him, that's going to take a bit too long. There's a lot of work going in a steam engine just to give it away like that. Saying that this next one is a lot more that goes in it, of course. Anyway, so then he said to me, how about the light? He wanted a light, something that I need to design for him. He leaves it open to whatever I design, but something creative, a light. And I thought, maybe I could do that. So I've got a lot of brass that I got out of fire extinguishers. Is one of the forms. It was props. So props is the stuff standing around at forms, and he got a couple of crates of fire extinguishers, but it's in a different language, all the labels, so they can't really use it in Britain. Just set it out for usage. I mean, you could probably change the labels, but then nobody wanted to use it anyway. So he's got these crates of fire extinguishers, and he can't get rid of it now because it's cylinders, and cylinders you can't compact if it's not open, a hole in it or something, you know. So I looked at this, and I saw, I took one apart, and on most of them, this part here is brass, not the handles, just that part there. So I said to him, listen, I'll do it in between, but if I can have the brass, I'll, because I'm planning on melting it and making, I've got a little furnace now, and making all sorts of models and stuff, maybe bars or whatever, that I can use on these sort of type of engines and stuff. Anyway, so I decided to make him a light of this. Now the idea, I've got one of the cylinders open, and it's actually quite nice. This is aluminium, by the way. There's some steel and there's some aluminium, but the steel ones are bigger, and dimensions, and I don't want too big. So the idea is making a little man with lights in his arms. So I've got two of these spout little things, and that'll be the arms fixed to the side here. I've ordered some lights, which I got here, LED lights, which I want to fix in that spout. Got switches and all sorts. I've got little, now I don't know if that's going to work, like button light switches, which I want to use for the two eyes. So if you flick them on, the arm will light up and you'd be able to swing it and stuff. The idea is the body. I need to create legs for it. In one of the feet I'd like to take this switch apart and it seems like it might be pretty simple, and fit it into the foot. That'll be the main switch to it, and then the eyes will be able to, that's the idea anyway, will be able to light up each arm light spotlight. Okay, that's the idea of the whole thing. If it's gonna work, we'll see. And then I've got the I've ordered some transformers and stuff for the LEDs, and the idea is I can hide them in the body. Now aluminium, of course, I can't weld, but I can bolt stuff to it. So I'm thinking of making part of it steel, part aluminium, part whatever. I've got some gears. The head might be a gear, and this is late in the day, week's day, so our overtime got knocked on the head for the moment. So I'm home a little bit earlier, and I'm thinking of, starting on this. Yeah, last weekend we went, last Saturday we went on to a friend that had a charity event at this pub, and this coming weekend we're going to son-in-law's, young Mr. Rusty's, his group gonna have a show at some motor show they're gonna perform. So the plan is to go and see that. It'll be a first for me to go and see them, and looking forward to that. Anyways, the ogre tones. So we're planning to go see their performance. Anyways, I think I'm gonna start by the legs. The legs needs to be pretty substantial, solid, so that it could hold this big old body, big tummy, in the air and stabilize it pretty good. I don't know how much of all of this I'll be talking through, and I might just do talkovers afterwards. I don't know, I'll see, but I think I'm just going to crack on. Well, first of all, I need to find some steel, start doing this, and then I'll start recording and probably just go as it goes, see where it goes. Okay. Okay guys, so basic design for the legs are done. The body will fit on there. I might just angle it backwards or forwards a little, but something like that. Still need to put the feet on there, but so far so good, I suppose. Coming along, but I think I'm gonna call it there for this evening. Let everything cool down and I'll look at it another evening or day. Let's see. Okay guys, so it's the next evening. I carried on. I didn't push the record button. So on the nose I cut out, sacrificed a gear that I also got from this place. I think they have stripped a lorry truck gearbox, and it was a hard choice, but the guy sort of asked, he wants something made out of gears. Now the welding, don't look at that, it's gonna do the job. I use the handle of the fire extinguishers, make a nose. I cut the gear out. Now the idea is to put the eyes in there. I don't know if I'll be able to drill this, hopefully, so that when it's switched on, a light will shine there. So I'll have to make something to fit it on there. Probably just a bit of angle iron that I'll fit on there, and probably with a bolt from the bottom, and I'll have to allow for wiring to come through to the eyes. But like I said, it's next evening. I'm tired. I carried on without recording much, just to try and get it done. So anyways, there you have it. The next part, not done, but getting there. Oh, and I welded up the center. I cut it out of a piece of steel. It's pretty hot still. I've cut a piece of flat bar, rounded it off only on the belt sander, and welded it in from the back, so that I can have a better even face there, which of course I made a mess with the welding, but he wants a rustic look, and I'll smooth some of that out, and body filler might do the rest. It's not supposed to look perfect. So this gear is really too hot or too hard. I need to soften it to be able to work it, to drill it and work some of the parts on the back of it off. So I'm going to heat it up, or that's the plan, till it lose magnetism, so very hot, and then just let it cool down by itself. So that heat treatment worked good. You have to heat it up pretty severe, but I managed to get it to the right temperature. I've done one eye hole already. I'm on the second one, drilling it gradually bigger, and then using end mills to the final size, 20 mil for the switches. So that's good. Okay, so on the final cut, final end mill size, and these are only cheapish end mills. That's it. Okay, I'm thinking of maybe profiling it a little, give it a bit more facial features, but I'll see. I don't know yet. Yeah, I'll see. Okay, so I'm quite pleased with that. I might still go around with some body filler and make it look a bit prettier, but that's pretty pleasing. uh, does it look familiar? Oh, glasses, sorry. No, I'm not gonna make glasses for it. And it's got more hair than me. Well, basically long nose, eyes and beard. So anyways, it's getting there, but it's getting a bit late again. So that's it for tonight. Okay, so you're watching something. So on the bench, a Dremel tool. I went to dug that out. It was a mission and a half, by the way. Yeah, so what happened now is these spotlights, it's not going to fit in there. The hole is too small. So I need to cut the interior out of that. It might be another problem. Get to that when I get to that. Anyways, so the interior I need to cut out. I dug out the Dremel so I can get in with a reach quite deep. Now I need to go in 65 millimeters roughly or more. So if I use my rule of thumb, about there. Now I like to work around about. I work mostly by feel here. I think I've cut it all the way through. Let's see. If I break some of it out, I might get the rest out. Because it's pressed in there. Oh, here we go. Now there's another problem, it seems. The inside is coming out. However, that's not a big deal. As long as the light fits in there. Come on, in you go. Stuff want to fall over. Okay, so the light will go in there. I quite like that. I need to push it in harder and that will actually do the job. That's good. However, the second one is a smaller diameter. So when I go in tomorrow to work, I'll have to bring try and get another big one out. So let's see, this is inside 54 millimeters, so I need to look for another one of 54 millimeters. Now while I'm there, Might have to drill that nozzle out. I don't know if I can grip it with anything to take it out. It'd be great if I can. I don't know. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So this bit here threads into the shoulder, and I've threaded that inner part now so I can fit a bolt through. I need to drill it out still so I can feed the wire through it, and fix this to the body, the shoulders of the light. Okay, another one to do. Perfect. So that's that, the neck starting to form. Okay. Okay guys, the you know, size is not quite right, but that's a basic sort of idea. I don't think I can change any of this. A lot of finishing still to go on that, but yeah, that's basically the idea. Switch in there, that's the master switch. That is a 240 switch, by the way. I think it come out of a Makita switch. Wiring isn't done yet. I've read on there it's 240 volt, so that's good. It's just in there. Those switches, none of the wiring is connected, and it needs painting and all sorts. But basically that's what it's supposed to look like before painting. There's a lot of finishing still to do on it, and it looks, you know, like I said, the proportions is not quite right, but that's the way it is. Okay.
Meet old Joe, Mr. Rusty's latest creative invention. Made out of some fire extinguishers. And there we go. It's a light. Hang on. And just look at that. The arms are slightly adjustable. If you want a reading lamp, or if you want to. So Mr. Rusty made this for a friend at work who gave him a lot of metal to make some other inventions with. But yeah, he reminds me of a little guy called Old Joe. So we'll call him Old Joe. Quite clever, isn't it? Oh, and this was made from a truck's gear. The main switch. Rather cute little guy.